Hi, I'm Christy Schwan. I am the president of the League of Women Voters of Ozaukee and Washington counties, and I'm a resident of Cedarburg, and I have with me
Libbey Brennan. I am with the League of Women Voters. I serve as the vice president of our league in Ozaukee County and Washington County, and I'm also a Cedarburg citizen.
Wonderful. And we're so excited to be here today. Jeff has been trying to convince us to do this for some time. So we're here to talk a little bit about the League of Women Voters, which has been making democracy work in Ozaukee County since 1957. Our anniversary date is March 18th, and our founder is still resides in Cedarburg and is 97 years old. And we expanded into Washington County just last year in 2023. And just to let you know or remind everybody that the League of Women Voters is nonpartisan. We're a grassroots political organization encouraging informed and active participation in government. We welcome anyone who wants to improve our systems of government and impact public policies through education and advocacy. And you can find us out on the internet at lwvozaki, all one word, .org. So to again describe our nonpartisan policy, what that means is that we're proud to be nonpartisan. We neither support nor oppose candidates or political parties at any level of government, but we're always working on vital issues of concern to members and the public. Libbey?
And because we are also issue-based organization in a nonpartisan way, we do have policies that are in, I would say, 10 categories. So we look at things like the administration of justice in our courts and law enforcement, citizen rights, community policies to help communities with their fiscal and social, cultural life for all of their residents. There's also county government, education, government financing, government structures and procedures. Of course, our natural resources here in Wisconsin, we're very happy to have that Great Lake, and social policy too. So we do focus on issues. We do have an advocacy arm that supports that. But again, we're a grassroots organization that does like to focus on voter education.
That's for sure. And one of the great things about this organization is how fast we've grown, particularly in the last couple of years. We currently, as of today, have 146 members. 119 of those are in Ozaukee County. And even though we just opened up and expanded our footprint into Washington County last July, we've grown from 5 members to 27 members in that county alone. And along with that, we have 5 youth vote group members, which we'll talk about a little bit later. Another key foundation of our league on both a local, state, and national basis is that we are fully committed to diversity, equity, and inclusion in principle and in practice. DEI is central to our organization's current and future success to engage every individual, household, community, and policymakers in creating a more perfect democracy. There are no barriers to full participation on the basis of any characteristic that can be identified as recognizing or illustrating diversity. We believe that true representation of the voices in our communities will ensure that the League's positions, advocacy, and events reflect a democracy of all the people. And then briefly, our league structure, we, as Libbey already said, we're a grassroots organization at the local level. And as I said, we have about 146 members today. But then we also have a state organization. There are 20 leagues throughout the state. And our headquarters are in Madison. And then we have a national league as well, too. But it's a sort of a bottom-up organization. What we see and feel is important at the local level gets lifted to the state and gets lifted on further up to the national. So that's a little bit about our structure. And Libby's going to talk about the committees that we have here locally as well.
Yeah, these are committees that local members participate in and lead. So here in Ozaukee County, I think I would say that Voter Services is the committee that we have most recognition in our in our community, we sponsor candidate forums. So when it comes time to election, here in Cedarburg, we've focused on school board elections and forums here co-hosted with the Cedarburg Library. Those have been really popular. In fact, we're, working on that right now for the next upcoming election. We also have a long history of voter registration programs. And last year, within this county, we sponsored and visited 10 events to help voters register and understand the registration process, because that has changed too throughout the years. And then, of course, with voter services, there's education. We do want to encourage informed citizenship and understanding how government works. So we have a program called Vote 411 that is the League's national and local online voter support tool. That tool helps all voters and all citizens research the candidates and the races that are in their local community. And you may not realize, but coming up in spring, there are going to be more than 50 elections in Ozaukee County. And where do you start to research those? Well, Vote 411 is a really great resource for that.
Can I throw in one thing?
Sure.
Just earlier this week, today is Thursday, on Tuesday, several of us from the voter services team went over to Willowbrook Place in Thiensville. We were invited there to talk with the senior residents who live there about the voter registration process, what they needed to do, and we ended up and about absentee voting and what was coming up on in terms of the spring elections that impacted them directly. And we were able to help several people who'd recently moved there update their addresses using Wisconsin's My Vote website to update their address so that they wouldn't have any issue.
That is such a wonderful opportunity for us to reach into our communities and help residents who move or change addresses get that piece of the process taken care of
Very
painlessly.
much. Yes.
Painlessly. We do have other committees that we work through locally. We do have a youth vote group that comes in here to the library pretty regularly. We've had statewide civics game participation through our youth vote group and some real successes there. They also sponsor a Flag Day voter registration party, and they will be sponsoring a panel presentation upcoming here on February 22nd called Mother Earth is Calling. That is all through our youth vote group. One of the other committees we have locally is our founder, Martha Watts Civic Engagement Scholarship. And our first 2023 scholarship was awarded to Abigail Horwitz from Homestead High School in Mequon. We also have an environmental committee. We dedicated a Kwanzaa cherry tree in Adlai-Horn Park last spring, and we do co-sponsor statewide events on environmental justice and Ice Age trail activities. We have an DEI committee with lots of activities around understanding our residents and our citizens. Last year, we had a spotlight on immigration presentation. Well, actually, it was a panel discussion at the Cedarburg Cultural Center. And we had an inclusivity tea, which was a diverse panel of speakers. Last year, it was at the Cedarburg's Wisconsin Quilt Museum. That was a lot of fun. That was nice. We have a membership committee that I would say listens to the voice of our members to help understand and educate and actually be social. We have membership meetings, book discussions, online discussion, What's on Your Mind. It used to be What's on Your Mind Wednesday, but we had to change that around a bit. But just an opportunity for members to talk about things that are going on in the community. And then, of course, our Communications and Technology Committee are those who are responsible for Facebook, Instagram, website, and media. We also have event planning as part of our membership committee, and our lunches, our panel discussions, and coordinating other events.
Great. Thanks, Libbey. One of the things that we think is extremely important is that we partner with or create alliances with other organizations that have the same outlook and interest that we do. So we work closely with the NAACP of Ozaukee County. We actually have members who are members of both organizations. The same thing with the Ozaukee County Equity Roundtable, which used to be called Bridge the Divide. We also hold events, our Earth Day events, particularly we've held them at River Edge Nature Center the last couple of years. And this year, our event will be at the Mequon Nature Preserve. We've recently created new relationships with the Germantown, as part of Washington County expansion. The Germantown Community Coalition, which we're very excited is just getting off the ground. And honestly, just yesterday, we met with the executive director at Casa Guadalupe Education Center in West Bend, and we are going to be looking at supporting each other's activities in any way that we can. So that's something that we're always looking to forge those relationships. When we talk about upcoming events for the spring, I'd just like to mention that we have our biggest event is for Women's History Month. We have a brunch and a scholarship fundraiser. It's going to be Saturday, April 6th at Shully's in Thiensville. It's from 10 to noon. Our keynote speaker, we're proud to say, is Mary Trigiano. She's the director of the Andrews Center for Restorative Justice, and she's an adjunct professor at Marquette Law School. And she's going to be talking about one judge's journey towards restorative justice. So that is open to the community. You can learn about that on, again, our website is a place where all of this is located. And certainly we are excited to be bringing this to our communities. We also have an Earth Day celebration coming up on Saturday, April 27th. That's going to be at the Mequon Nature Preserve from 11 to 1. And this year, our keynote speaker is Marissa Jablonski, and she is from the Freshwater Collaborative of Wisconsin. So we're excited to hear from her. Again, open to the community. And then in May, on May 21st, which is a Tuesday evening, we at 6:30, we have a panel presentation on gun violence, how it traumatizes our kids. And that's going to be at the Cedarburg Cultural Center. Our panel presenters include an emergency room physician, a child psychologist, a police officer, and a student activist. So that's what we have on our lineup between now and the middle of the year. We are, again, always excited to welcome new members into the fold. It's a great organization. It's one where you forge wonderful friendships, I have to say, as well as really doing something not for our local community, or for our state, as well as for our country, too. We have a focus on empowering voters and defending democracy, and that is at all levels of our organization. So again, you can follow us on Facebook, League of Women Voters of Ozaukee and Washington counties. We have an Instagram account as well, and then go out to our website at lwvozaukee.org. And we thank you for the opportunity to talk to you today.